guys, welcome back to my channel, and this is going to be my charm bracelet story. I'm hoping it'll work in the webcam, we shall see. But it's a Clogau charm bracelet that, because Jed and I got married and lived in North Wales, we were just down the road from Snowdon and the Clogau mine and what have you. So when we moved to South Yorkshire, any milestone, usually Jed used to treat me with a charm. So I finished it the other day. I have no more room on this charm bracelet, so this is the story so far. Right, so that's the lock on it. It's really pretty. I've undone it so that I can show you everything. Doing it that way. You need to go that way. It's got Welsh writing on it. What's flashing? Right, so first charm is a London bus, because that's where I'm from originally, born and bred in London from an Irish family. And I went from London to Butlins to the fairground. I'm hoping you can see these. So that is a carousel, and is it a big wheel? I can't think what it's called. My head's gone today. So that was to represent the fairground at Butlins. Then we have a train, because Jed worked on the train that went from the camp to the beach and back again, and we actually did a day on there together because someone was off sick. So I worked on the go-karts, but the fairground boss Bob asked if I'd do a day on the thing, and I thought it was a joke because I thought they'll never put the two of us together, but they did, and it was a brilliant day, great fun, but I ended up with sunstrokes. I'm shit in the sun, I really am. So that is followed by an engagement ring. Because we got engaged and married. And there's another heart with a lock to represent wedding. Then we have a little suitcase, because when we left Butlins to move off camp to get a house of our own, all we had was a suitcase each. I think we had a bin and an ironing board that we got as a wedding present. So we had absolutely sod all when we started off, like most couples, I would say. And then we have, whoops, stand up, a sheep. As we married, got pregnant, and moved to a little village. And at the top of the road, every time we used to go out on the bus to go and do the shopping, we'd pass this little farm, and they had sheep. And then in springtime, they had the lambs, and we'd be driving past on the bus, and Take Help, my son, they'd be going, and another sheep. So I had to get that. Then oops, move you along that way. I got these these aren't Clogau. I got these in a sale from Pandora, and it's Toy Story. There's Woody, Buzz, and whatever her name was, I can't remember. But I was showing this to my daughter the other day, and I said to her, "Oh," I said, "I finished it now," and she was going around, and she was like, "Oh yeah, Toy Story." And I said, "Yeah, that's because when Tech Help was little and we had to take him to the hospital to have his eyes checked," and she went, "Oh, he was watching it," and I was like, "No, your dad was." we got there and they had this little square bit for the kids to play in while they were waiting for their appointments. And they had a telly and those little tiny chairs that children use. And they called us for our appointment, and I looked around and Jed sat on this teeny tiny chair in front of the telly like that, completely engrossed in the film. And I'm like, "Psst, Jed." And he's like, "What?" And I'm like, "We've got to go." And he's like, "But I'm watching the sod the film." So that always makes me laugh when I think of that. Then Butlins closed down and they changed it to Haven, and in the meantime, while they were doing that, it was really difficult to get work because neither of us spoke Welsh. And then Jed got a job. We didn't realise it was an MLM at the time, trying to sell Kirby Hoovers. So I got this the other day. Hang on, let's see if I can turn it around so you can see it properly. It's a proper little upright Hoover, which I think is really cute. Anyway, when Jed was working with them, he got to bring one home to practice with, and it was at the time that the Teletubbies were huge and Tech Help was little, and he called it Daddy's Nunu. So I had to get that. Then there's another heart with, is that my one for my birthday, or is that a Valentine's one? No, it's a Valentine's one. Then who do we have? We have a kite. Why a kite, I hear you ask? Right, let me get it to, it's not hanging right. Hang on. Hold up. It's because it's completed now. There's not that much room for things to move about. And there we go. Right. It's a little kite with things hanging off it. That's impossible to see. I'll try and do some photos afterwards and add them in. But we had our first family holiday. We went to Blackpool, and Jed decided it'd be a good idea to buy a kite to play with on the beach, and he was going to show it to Tech Help and what have you. And so he bought this kite, and the beach was absolutely, totally covered with jellyfish. I don't know why. I don't know what had happened, but they were everywhere. Anyway, he was running up and down, trying to get this kite to fly and dodge the jellyfish. And he was going to give it to Tech Help once it was flying, but it wouldn't fly. And I just went and sat down on these steps, and then the next thing, Tech Help's come over and he's like, "I want to fly the kite. Why can't I fly the kite? Why won't Daddy let me fly the kite?" And Jed's thumping up and down like a madman, shouting, "I should have got a fucking pin bag on a string. It would have been better." It was just one of the funniest memories. And whenever I mention a kite, he just pulls a face now. And I saw that in the Clogau shop, and it was like, oh, I have to get it. I just have to have a kite on my charm bracelet. And the thing was, the steps led down onto the beach, and there was people walking around behind me, staring at me like I was a madwoman, because my face must have been purple, and I was in fits. Between the pair of them, I couldn't draw breath to explain to Tech Help why he couldn't fly the kite yet. Oh, it was so funny. So that'll be a memory that'll last forever. Why is this all tangled up? Right. Then, after that, we have see the kite thing, the dingle dangles are in the way of that. Let me hold it properly. This should have been done with an overhead camera and all the gizmos, but I haven't got them. Right, can you even see what that is? Hang on, I need to untangle this kite. See, it's not playing, is it? Right, there we go. Maybe I should have taken them all off, but then... Right, is that upside down? Can you even see what that is? That's really hard to see, isn't it? I gave this to Tech Help the other day to show him that I'd finished it as well, and he was like, what is that? And I said, turn it the other way round. You can't see that at all, can you? This could have been thought out better, couldn't it? Can you see? Right, I'm not sure if you can make it out, but it's actually Baloo from Jungle Book. And that brings back memories of when Madam was in her big girl bedroom and we got her a telly and all the rest of it. And she was a nightmare. She'd be awake all night. I think she went on like an hour's sleep. So we used to do it in turns. So Jed would get up with her in the morning, and Travis and what have you, Tech Help, and I'd do the night shift. And so I'd put a film on quiet for her so she had something to watch while she was wide awake. And she knew the words to Baloo's song inside out and back to front. And she used to sing it all the time. And then all I used to have to do was go, to her, and she'd go, get mad, baby. Boingy, boingy, boing. Anyway, it just brings back memories. Then we have a little bird cage for, we had a budgie, and that was for him. And then that's for my love of music. Then I got a heart for my 50th birthday. And then it's Darth Vader, R2D2 and C3PO. And that was because I'm one of these people, if it's wrong, I won't give in. And like, I used to have to argue with the school when the kids were little. I ended up homeschooling them for a good while because they just weren't getting what they should have been receiving, because they're both autistic, and trying to get help was a nightmare. Anyway, and then like if something didn't turn up or something turned up broken and they were like, oh well, tough, you know, you have to put up with it, I used to fight my corner. And Jed says anytime he knows something's gonna kick off, he's like, he can hear dun, 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 in his head. So that's what he calls me, Darth Vader. Then this was one of the last, well, the last one I got. It's a little oyster shell, and inside it's a pain to open, but there is a little pearl in it, and that was for our 30th wedding anniversary, which is pearl apparently. Will it? Ah, cool. Don't even know if you're going to be able to see this, but oh, wee teeny, my finger's in the way. Hang on. See, I need to have my finger there to open the darn thing. But believe me, there's a little pearl in there. Then I saw this and I just got it because every year I always give something to the children in need thing. And this is a little Pudsey, which is their mascot. And then the very last one is a heart-shaped harp for my gran. So there you go, that's everything. Not that you saw many of them, but... And I love the fact that each one of them has a story behind them. It's like there's only one, like the Pudsey one is the only one that doesn't really have any real connection to me or the family, but like I said, I give to that charity every year, and I like Pudsey, so I got that. But yeah, that is basically the last 30 years of my life on a charm bracelet, which is quite funny when you think about it. But yeah, I'm very happy with every single charm on here, and I'm glad that I did it the way I did. I know some people just like, oh, I like that, that's cute, I'm getting it type thing, and that's great. And I thought that's probably what I would end up doing, but I was determined that the first one would have a meaning, and then it just went from there, and it was like every single one of them mean something, and they all have a story, and they make us laugh or they make us cry. But yeah, so that's my little charm bracelet tour, and if I can get some decent photos, I will stick them in now. And if you got to the end of me, thank you very much, and I will see you in the next one.